What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. We got Alan House. Good morning to you. Good morning to Albert, Amy, Bill, Corey, Daniel, Dragon, Frank's in the house. Good morning to Joe. K King is in the house. Mutual Mortgage. All right. We got Lauren in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Marius, Mike, Tim, all my people out in YouTube land. We got B Jal. Good morning to you. Good morning to Daniel. All my lurkers in the background. Not gonna say nothing all day. It's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe button. But market gapping up a little bit. So yesterday we had a little bit of a pullback. Got right into that support, a little bit tad lower. Got into the secondary support. So we did break through that first one, 669.49. Again, that was a spot that really never got retested. So it was kind of a failed gap and go, but at the end of the day, just an indecision market with the market's this strong. The indecision doesn't even come like, do we go higher from here or lower? It's just the indecision is we don't know when it's going higher. I think that's the only indecision in this market. So we do have some follow through today, and bull market looks pretty well maintained so far. But that was a perfect retest, good location if you were being able to buy there. Fantastic opportunity, and we go higher. Still well above all moving averages. Again, gapping into all-time highs. And we'll see where we actually open, but as of now, gapping into all-time highs and no targets to the higher side. If we pull back again, which wouldn't be shocked, but if we get a little pullback, look for 671.98 to be a pretty good support that holds. Again, if we start breaking underneath it, well, then we have back to the 670.25. Problem with that is now that has been retested, and same thing with 669.48. Also, essentially has been retested, and that would take us into the 669 zone. So that's the bear case. That's the bear levels. That's still not really even that far away from where we're opening, and to me, it looks like probably that first support. If we get a pullback, 671.98 should be a strong one. No idea where we go from there. Just higher for longer. We got Qs gapping also into all-time highs so far for today. Again, yesterday was failed gap and go, so kind of just acted little retest gap. I wouldn't be surprised if this comes back down, even though this is a red candle from yesterday. Opening price, closing price, all higher than the well, we opened and closed at all-time highs on Qs. So all of that being a fairly good retest. For this one, 605.79, we almost got into that, missed it by a couple pennies for your support. If we start to come down again, maybe that's a little bit easier to get taken out. That would throw support a little bit longer term, probably to like 603.91. Other than that, though, for today, first level of support, probably the one that should hold. And again, wouldn't be surprised if we have some kind of a drop. Look for that 608.56 and then see if we could kind of rally from that point. So still looking fairly good for Qs as well. Not too shabby. You got Bitcoin. Little inverted hammer after essentially besides those two resting days, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight days up. So far for today. And there was some decent volume, of course, getting to all-time highs. That usually helps. Other than that, right now, inside day resting candle. I think that's gonna be a main one to watch for Bitcoin. See if we start breaking underneath it at some point. Otherwise, we came back. We kind of just hit the opening price from yesterday for Bitcoin. Right now, we're above yesterday's VPOC 124,753. I think that's a candle to watch for Bitcoin. See if we start just again. I don't think Bitcoin's crashing, but maybe you get that pullback. For right now, though, it looks like the bulls are trying really, really hard. So watch that level, somewhere around 124,753, and then also see if this VPOC moves up today past that level as well. But for right now, 124,545 for today's support so far. With a lot of time left, we will see. Gold, another all-time high. So that continues to go. This would be a retest gap. Commodities work a little bit different, but probably won't be buying at all-time highs if it pulls back 364.83. SLV. Not doing as well as golds for today, so that one's still underneath yesterday's VPOC. But again, yesterday did close at all-time highs. Still a retest gap. That retest should come into 43.66 for a good level of support for silver. We got a couple tickers coming out. If you guys got more, let me know. We got SoFi. I think there was a lot of discussion about SoFi in terms of expanding business, expanding products that they offer. That was kind of trending going around as of really yesterday. But you had a good pullback. You got into that 50 EMA, perfect bounce off of it. Um, I think people are kind of comparing it to the next Robinhood in the same category. Uh, I don't know. I'd be a little cautious at open for this one for a day trade. I think you have your 25.52. And again, if the rest of the market actually comes back for a retest first, it would make sense that this one pulls back. Uh, Look for your first support. If you get a little tiny pullback, look for like 27.16. If that starts to break down, a full-on retest, which I think would be a very, very interesting spot to buy, 26.57 if it gets down there. Otherwise, again, lots of days. You had last 1, 2, 3, 4 days essentially. We're not quite out of that highest volume of that 4 day set. If we were opening a little bit higher, specifically above 27.51, I think that would look a little bit more where we don't get that retest first. I think it'd be a buy the dip if it comes in. I'd be patient at open for this one until you start clearing 27.51. Then you start to get a little bit more room. 27.98 next target. Maybe you could get to like 28.21. I think I'd be patient with that pullback for SoFi. Let's see. We got PayPal. PayPal is having a fantastic day. Somebody, I forget who it was. I remember the message, but I forget who wrote it. They were buying PayPal off that 200-day moving average yesterday. So solid trade. Again, apologize for forgetting who wrote the post, but I just saw it scrolling through real quick. So congrats to whoever that is. But looks like a really good gap up. No, I thought that person said, no, still don't know. But PayPal, really good gap again. Decently monster gap for PayPal. Other than that, it's a big retest gap. I wouldn't be surprised if there is another buying opportunity somewhere in the future at the 71.34 zone. Not sure if there's news on PayPal. I think it has to do with, you know, and that's onboarding of India's unified payment interface, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it was that one. Set to launch Ad Manager, a tool aimed to supporting small business. They've been talking about that for a while. Yeah, I think it was this. The CEO of PayPal Holdings from 2015 to 2023 grew annual revenue. So I think it's about their growth, and a lot of people saying maybe a little undervalued. By the way, I was saying it at like the $60 level, below $60 level, when everybody else said it was a dying company. So just doesn't work in my time frame sometimes. Still holding. I still like it, but good gap up. Not a lot of real volume in here to hold us back till we get to about the 77.86 zone, $78 zone, something like that. Again, for today, for a day trade purpose, I don't think I'd be a buyer. You do have decent resistance starting to come in, 75.37. What do I know though? Nothing. The market just breaks through support like they don't exist sometimes. So we'll see if that goes higher from here. I I think for risk to reward, I don't really have much on a day trade for PayPal. My stops realistically, even if we get a pullback to like 73.73, my stops really, I don't know, 72.25, and now my stop is kind of below where I think that much better spot to be a buyer right off that 200 EMA. So probably no day trade for me, but if you're holding, it looks good. It looks also like a little bit of a not picture perfect, but a little bit of inverted head and shoulders too. And I do think this one goes higher from here. That's why I'm gonna keep holding. Let's see, we got a couple more. Lucian says I want SoFi back to $7 so we can do calls again. I agree. If we could get there, that'd be fun. Think it's going to take a bigger market pullback for us to see the $7 range again. We got Dell popping into not all-time highs, but nice little pop on this one. Let's see what their news was. Dell Technologies raised its revenue growth, so yep, raised growth and forecasts. Not only that, but on a technical basis, that's one heck of a breakout that we really put in starting. I guess it was October 1st. This, I think, was the retracement of this. Um, Decent resistance. I mean, we're going back far on this one, but decent resistance 153.94. So we get a small pullback look for that. I wouldn't mind getting aggressive on an entry. I think at open, you'll probably have some profit takers from one, two, three, four, 5 days of straight buying, small pullback, nothing really happened, all inside day candle. I think this candle from the first is a little bit more dominant. If you get a full-on pullback, look for like 147.56. I think there's buyers sitting right around there. This might have the ability. It's not a high short float, so it's not going to be like a super squeeze, but some kind of high wave candle, hammer at open. I think getting aggressive on that one would be a potentially decent play. IBM, I believe, is all-time highs on a gap up. Yep, so IBM all-time highs on gap up. Literally every single person is profitable on this one. You do have a couple more days of buying. I don't know if I would get aggressive on this one. I just don't like the all-time high play. For me, there's better opportunities. It's a wild card. I could definitely make a case this thing is going higher from here. You have $300, great psychological level where resistance could come in, but I just hate buying other people's profit, and I know I'm buying every single person's profit on IBM. So, that being said, if it pulls back, if it comes into yesterday's VPOC, that's 290.48. So watch that spot before we even get there. Watch for this 292.37. Also a really good spot where some people might have been looking to take some gains, seeing if that double top would break, and we clearly have that break. So I'd see if we can get at least a little bit of a pullback, $5 move. But I think it'd be a fun one to watch. Either all-time high, just it just rips past 300 and it's up by $15 at the end of the day, or you actually get a little bit of profit taking. In this market, though, nobody wants to profit take anything. AAOI, Applied Optoelectronics. It's a good household name. I'm sure everybody has Applied Optoelectronics laying around. For this one, I think best case you're looking for a little continuation on this one. I don't know what the news was, if any, that I don't know. I think I have looked at this stock once, maybe in my life. So I don't know anything about the company, but good technical breakout. Again, I'm not sure why, how that is a good breakout. I think if you're going to try to play this one, be careful. There is some resistance. Again, I don't know anything about this company, except they have a lot of letters in the word optoelectronics. It has a lot. Little bit of resistance going back to January 6th, 2025, and then maybe a little bit more at 34.16. So I think this would be a little confrontational area. I think people probably after that candle, after that breakout, looking for some kind of continuation for today. I think if you get a little bit of a pullback, 33.29, if you want to try to play a continuation on it, to go higher from there. But not really a whole heck of a lot of volume holding us back. There's some that kind of came in again from the December, January period earlier. I'd say if you get a small pullback, great candle. Probably going to get continuation over the next couple days. I don't know if today is a day that it does it. Doesn't mean it's not going to, but TTD finally getting above a very key spot, opening into resistance. I think this one's starting to look really, really good. Again, day trade. What I'm looking for is stay above 53.66 or 53.60, we'll call it. I also think that's your next buy spot too. So that is all the volume bulls showing this morning. We can get above it. If we get the close above it, fantastic. I think that looks really good for TTD. At open, you have decent resistance somewhere right around 54.87. You have another decent resistance around 55.14. I think if this one pulls back into the zone, I would like to buy it at somewhere around 53.60, 53.70. I might look for a swing trade. I might look for some option plays, something like that on TTD, because now we're starting to clear out a lot of volume. We have a heck of a gap to fill up somewhere around 87, 82 for a longer term picture. Day trade wise, if we don't pull back and we just start breaking and closing above 55.14, then we might have the opportunity to start to look to go long for today. But psychological level somewhere around probably 56.71, and then wherever the high of this candle is, uh, 57.03, something like that. So those two would be pretty good defended levels from bears, I would think, if I get that pullback first. And if I'm playing with options, I'm gonna put some time on those contracts as well, but starting to look fairly good for TTD. Let me get that one just a tad higher. We'll get it down there. Perfect. All right, we got IBM. We checked that one out. J&J. Johnson and Johnson. I think they had some kind of, I don't know if it was a court settlement this morning. I think it was a court settlement that came in this morning around like, I don't know, 8:30 or something. Not a good looking gap at all. I think you have a lot of room to the downside on this one. I don't think I'd be a buy the dipper, but watch like 180.64. That would be a spot that I would start to consider. So this might be a short opportunity. Even on the short opportunity, knowing that we buy every single dip because it exists, if this thing could go to like 185.60, somewhere around there, I think is a better opportunity to go short if you could get it. Otherwise, I'd say maybe a slight lean to aggressive on a short. The problem and why I say slight as opposed to just I want to get in short now is because you do have a couple lows down here. Could get some support from bulls. 184.21 again. Not this bull. This bull, if you get me lower 180.64, I'd be more bullish. I think that's also my target to the downside as well. So, yep, little different than the rest of the market. Meta. Meta, which has had weakness. We were looking at that hammer yesterday. It was still red, I think, at the time. And I'm like, man, that looks like a potentially dangerous looking hammer for Meta if it closes as one. It did. It actually closed green on the day, so a little extra strength on it. Again, now you have this green candle. You also have a really good VPOC, which we closed at essentially yesterday's VPOC perfectly, 715.67. If you get down to that spot again on a retest, I would expect bulls to hopefully be sitting there if they are going to actually take advantage of this hammer. Otherwise, still a little bit of support. We'll have to see again where this one opens. We're looks like we're slightly above it, but watch 717.96. If we could open above it, we have a small candle, high wave candle, something like that. You do have a lot of room back to I think 725 for today. That's a decent showing for Meta if you could get up there. That's a good $7 move to the higher side. Even from here at open, if your stop is below 715, you're risking about $3 to get 7. You have just over 2 to 1 risk reward on that one. I would like to see a high wave candle, see if I can come in a little tighter on the spread, just by a little. And yeah, go from there. That looks decent though. What I like where we were on this one, it looked like it was just dying. And again, Meta's got everything. If you like the AI story, which we just watched and witnessed AMD go crazy yesterday, we've seen SMCI go crazy. SMCI is a good one for today too. I think kind of leaning off of the um, Dell upgrades a little bit, IBM push a little bit. SMCI looks like it's popping, but same thing. I was looking for maybe the low of this move should be 699.77. not only did we get lower, we absolutely obliterated that level. We got all the way back down to 690. We've been down there before. Bulls managed to hold it, so that is a good level. Meta is a AI play, big in the space, and yeah, I this might be a good buy the dip opportunity for Meta. So I think one to watch out for in terms of where we open. We'll kind of go from there. BBAI, Big Bear AI. Well, what's the short float? I think I looked this one up before. Didn't they have a high short float? Big Bear AI. Yeah, 21% short float. We've been higher. It's got AI in the name. The only reason you probably don't want to get in is if you don't like bears, I think. Um, we're at levels where the bears, the 21% short float, is going to want to start to defend this one. Big, big level, $8.13. I think if we're going to actually enact a squeeze on that one, we got to get closing and pricing above 813. That would take you to about $9.03, 960 is the last kind of level. But decent looking chart. They might have to change the name to Big Bull. Uh just got it. A lot of defense up here. Pullback zone, probably somewhere around 773. These smaller names can do some crazier things. If you can get it around 728, I think you get much better risk reward. Again, big volume. As long as you're above 697, you're starting to take out some of those bears on this one. Those big bears using AI or not. And that was a perfect retest. I would look for a continuation. Again, I'm just worried about the higher end of this thing until you could get that squeeze going. So interesting buy hold if you know where you're. I mean, put a safe stop on it. Grab Holdings also looks interesting. I don't know if we get all the way back to some of those levels. There's not really. Yeah, it hasn't even been around enough where. Yeah, it has actually. Hold on. Let's go to the weekly. Do I have weekly volume? No, so I don't have the weekly volume yet, and then the daily. We've been crunched in the zone for a while. In a short-term basis, we're above all that. That looks good. I think this one potentially, to what extent, I don't know. 733, I think is your next stop on it. And then in a really good market, which we are in, $10.14 looks like a very interesting spot. That's a pretty monster return. Again, gapping to 52 week highs. Maybe buy the dip. Yesterday's VPOC 641 if you can get it. Obviously, 660 is not too far away, but say there's a little pullback in this one. Otherwise, I'm going to add this one to the list just to watch. Hmm, no, don't want to compare. Do I already have it on my list? What's going on? Might already be on my list. I don't know why it's not coming up. Either way, uh, or am I maxed out? I don't know. Not sure, but yeah, I think that's a fun one to watch. MU, I saw was gapping up $5 early this morning. That's still the case. So nothing really changed from when I looked at it about an hour and a half ago. Looks really good for continuation though. I tried to day trade this one. It just didn't work yesterday. Maybe today is different. That's what a psychotic person would say. Other than that, good gap and go. Obviously, I don't think this is a lot of bears coming in. I think this is more profit taking. Still inside day. Watch for this 194.15. Anything above it, or as close as you could get to it. I still like the bullish direction for MU. They just had the upgrade to 220. Not that the upgrades have been, it's not the Bible, so just relax yourself on some of those upgrades. Some of those take time for what they see, and some of them are just plain incoherent, to be honest. But This one I think does look good. I think it's got everything. It's in the right category. It's been having a massive move. Watch for 194.26 on a pullback for it, and we'll see where it goes from there. XYZ. Wuski says last earnings not good. I got 10,000 shares at 530. I'm missing the first part of that one, or you're responding to something I said, which I've just been all over the place. What stock did you get 10,000 shares of? You got XYZ is looking okay. I do like the fact that you're above 78.20. Looks like probably a good candidate for a high wave candle indecision with resistance from yesterday at 78.38. So expect maybe a little bit of a small candle, some sideways chop, a little bit of a bull and or bear fake out right away. And then I think your target for today probably about 79.49. PayPal's on the move. SoFi's on the move. I don't know what Bull's doing. Bull was getting clapped a little bit yesterday, but a lot of the other names in this sector is looking good. If everything keeps pushing, probably extended target for today about $80.88. Again, I think you get a little chop in the beginning of the day. I think it's fine. Serve. Yep, I've been watching this one. Good gap on it. Again, retest gap. I've got covered calls expiring. I think the 17th, so next Friday at $17 strike. I'll be out if we get there. And to me, it looks like we probably will be getting called away at that price, which I'm okay with. I got in quite a bit lower. Other than that, looks really good. Probably a pullback for today if you could get it. For a bull case, close to $15, 14.97. Pre-market, this one has already hit down that range, so that'd be my only defense about the patience on that one. In live market, we haven't pulled back, but pre-market, we were sitting right around that 14.93 zone, so not too bad on that one. Otherwise, target for today, maybe get to 15.91, slightly higher. Maybe you're in that 16-18 range. So watch those two zones for possible targets on day trades, and I think continuing to buy the dip, it looks good. Great breakout, VPOC higher than all the previous ones, and now you're congested a little bit, but I think it's all right. We got ice. Uh-oh. No, I can't say that. Hold on. Uh oh, the ticker inner. Yeah, okay, got you. Never mind. Different different forum. We've got nice gap up from yesterday. That's a good gap and go. I don't know what the short squeeze is on this one. You got 164.09. If you could take that out, it looks really good. But one little line of defense on this one. Let's see there, so I can add ice. I think that would be an interesting one to watch. Again, especially if it's got a high short float to it, that would look really, really good. Otherwise, maybe small pullback. But I think you're definitely trapping some bears on that one. All right, TSSI. This might be our last one we have time for. We'll see. TSSI so close to be really good. Anything above 912, I like a lot. So we'll see if we get above there. It is a gap and go for today as well. Also clearing some decent levels. I like the odds of it getting past that 912. Otherwise, everybody out in YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you're not done so already. You guys are incredible.